Taylor Swift, you are dropped. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. You all know that if you experience some mishap in your life, that all you need do is contact your friendly neighbourhood narcissist and you are guaranteed a shoulder to cry on, somebody who's there with tea and sympathy, an individual keen to listen to your woes and offer constructive ways of resolving them. Reliable, bound to drop everything at an instant's notice in order to wing their way to you, to give you a warm and enveloping hug, to give you a sympathetic look and say, there, everything's going to be all right. Oh, as you well know, that when trouble comes a-knocking, invariably the narcissist is nowhere to be found. True, there are certain narcissists as part of their facade. They might give the appearance of being concerned about you, and they may issue some mealy-mouthed words that are designed to comfort you. But when it comes to actually giving something up in order to be supportive towards you, whoosh, the narcissist has disappeared. The narcissist is washing their hair. The narcissist has suddenly become unavailable. Because if there's one thing that you can rely on when it comes to the narcissist, they'll always ensure that their needs are being met ahead of yours. And we have an instance of this. At the current time, Blake Lively is still being assessed. Ryan Reynolds, her husband, has been found to be a narcissist. But this looks at the behaviour of another narcissist, Taylor Swift, and how she demonstrates that her friendship isn't really worth much at all, because as soon as she perceives a potential threat to her reputation, you're dropped. Now, you might say, well, surely many people would do that. If they think that you're a problem and that you could impact upon your hard-earned reputation, you would stay away from them. Well, there is some truth in that. But there are many people who, notwithstanding the fact that you're experiencing a difficult time, may well be supportive of you. That they would turn around and say, irrespective of the brickbats that have been thrown in your direction, I believe in you. I'm going to be around when the chips are down, and I'm going to keep the vampires from your door, as Frankie Goes to Hollywood once sang. I'm got your back. I don't care what's being said about you. I know the real you, and I know that these criticisms that are directed at you are nothing more than an awful smear campaign. I don't care if you've made a mistake and you're now getting lambasted for it. I've got your back. I'm going to look after you. But invariably the narcissist won't. And, as reported by the Daily Mail, Taylor Swift's shock involvement in Blake Lively's highly publicised legal roller coaster with Justin Baldoni rocked the foundations of their decade-long friendship. Now, parking for the moment how Lively regards that friendship, it's certainly the case that we've seen plenty of coverage and pictures of Swift and Lively together, whereby Lively holds the position of a non-intimate secondary source in the fuel matrix of the greater narcissist that is Taylor Swift. That she's useful for the purposes of being easy to control, that she provides fuel by way of her emotional output towards Taylor Swift, and assists with the facade of Taylor Swift of being this all-round American gal who's very likeable. Nevertheless, behind that facade lurks a sharp mind. I don't mean sufficiently in terms of academics, but rather with regard to seizing opportunities, self-promotion, and, of course, self-preservation. As the Mail continues, the A-list pals are still struggling to move on from the fallout, with the bad blood singer no longer communicating with Lively, according to insiders. This absence of communication would start off as a silent treatment. Undoubtedly, Lively would have tried to stay in contact with Swift, but she will have found that there's nothing coming back from her, and she's been given a silent treatment. This silent treatment is Swift's way of asserting control over Lively. Lively's communication probably wasn't a threat to control in itself. It might just have been, hey, how are you doing? But it's what she represents. Swift's facade is one of likability, not getting involved in controversial behaviours. And therefore, someone like Lively, who is involved in controversy, where public opinion has turned against her, then there's no sense of accountability or loyalty from Swift. Lively is simply an appliance. She is an appliance that is to be used as Swift determines. If she proves to be an unreliable appliance, she'll be dropped, either left on the shelf, which is the common place for a non-intimate secondary source, or possibly even disengaged from. It starts with the silent treatment, which is a method of nullifying the threat to control that Lively poses by virtue of her now toxic reputation. And then she's left on the shelf. Even should she come across the radar of Swift, which undoubtedly she will do so because of the publicity that the whole spat with Baldoni is generating, the fact is that Swift will simply decide, I'm not going to deal with her because she's too much like hard work. She's trouble. She brings trouble to my door. I do not want to be tainted by association. Her own needs come first, and therefore the drawbridge is raised. The portcullis comes down, and Blake Lively is excluded from Castle Swift. It had been previously reported that Swift had taken a step back from Lively, but their close bond has since deteriorated, with Swift reportedly refusing an invitation to the SNL 50th anniversary special, as Lively was on the guest list. Taylor is not communicating with Blake, an insider said. She was invited to SNL 50, but with Blake there and Kim Kardashian, it was the last place on earth she would be seen. The global frenzy around Lively has left Swift questioning her close friendships and how she can prevent external factors from damaging her own reputation. Now, as I mentioned earlier, any individual will assess whether their association with certain people might damage their reputation, not just narcissists. But when it comes to the narcissist, with that increased need for control and the extensive reliance upon facade management for mid-range and greater narcissists, this means that for Swift, it's a no-brainer. Lively is toxic. She can't be seen to be associated with toxic individuals. Loyalty means nothing to Swift because it's all about her. Accountability with regard to the friendship doesn't matter. It is ephemeral. Lively is there to be used, and should she prove not to be useful to her, and indeed, as she is proving to be potentially a liability, Swift will jettison her. Taylor is taking stock of which of her friends are good for her and who name drops her for personal gain after Blake Gate, a second insider, added. She has a new album in the works and is shocked by how much drama she was pulled into. Well, she isn't. That's just the word that's being put out there. She will not let external factors hurt her career. The once best friends have not been pictured together for 4 months. The last time was when Lively and Swift enjoyed a double date with their respective partners, Ryan Reynolds and Travis Kelce, in Manhattan in October. Questions were raised earlier this month when the actress failed to attend the Super Bowl, with Swift instead flanked by her collaborator Ice Spice, social media influencer Ashley Avignon, and Hames sisters Alana Estee and Danielle. Swift was dragged into the explosive saga last month when her It Ends With US co-star Baldoni countersued Lively and her husband Reynolds for $400 million. In his filing, Baldoni claimed Lively, who accused Baldoni of sexual harassment, used Swift to intimidate him at a meeting with Reynolds about edits she had made to a rooftop scene. Hitherto, of course, Lively appeared to threaten Baldoni by comparing herself to Game of Thrones character Khaleesi in a series of text messages, included as exhibits to court papers in which she referred to Reynolds and her best friend, Swift, as her dragons. Well, it would appear that this dragon has taken to the air and has flown away, not wanting anything more to do with Lively, at least for the moment. Demonstrating the self-serving nature of the narcissist, how, as the greater, The association with Lively is seen as a clear threat to control and must be nullified, which means she gets a silent treatment and she's left on the shelf. Once again, the narcissist looks out for his or herself, and it's Lively that has been found wanting as a consequence of the controversy that she has generated. Taylor Swift, always savvy about her career, always motivated by ensuring that the best outcome is for her, quite readily keeps Lively at a distance, quite possibly now jettisoning her as a friend, because the friendship meant nothing to her. She is expendable. All that matters to her is the need for control, which is associated with her reputation. And therefore, it's bye-bye Blake. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.